Hi, I'm going to show you guys how I color my hyperpigmentation without color correcting. Plus, if you use the right products, you won't have to color correct. So, here we go. So first, I'm going to start with skin prep. I always like to put on the It Cosmetics face cream. This works so well underneath my makeup and doesn't make it look oily after a long day. Love this stuff. And for the eyes, Fast Response Eye Cream by MAC. This stuff is a miracle worker. Don't forget sunscreen. Super Goop. This changed my life. An esthetician came in. I was telling her about my hyperpigmentation. She said, go pick this up and it'll help reduce it. And it did. So, must have. And I always like to moisturize my lips before I start to do my whole face. That way it gives a chance to sit in. So I like to use the matte clear lip gloss and just let that sit in as I do my makeup. So next is prime. Typically on an everyday basis, I would use e.l.f. or the Milk. But since I'm doing photos today, I'm going in with Smashbox Photo Finish because it makes your skin look so smooth. And it really helps with blocking the natural oils that I have from coming out. So I need my makeup to last through all these lights. So this is the one I'm going to use. Next is foundation. Typically, I like to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I don't know if you guys can see that. But since I'm doing photos today, we're going in with the Smashbox. Smashbox Studio Skin Wear is like one of the best foundations I have ever used. It's one of my OGs. I will always use this. It holds up under light very well, and it lasts throughout the day and still looks good. Underrated, but perfect. So usually I just pump it on my face, and then I spread it out using my MAC 170 foundation brush. This is like one of the best foundation brushes ever. Like, once I started using this, I have not gone back. Look at that. I swear this stuff looks like a second skin when you put it on. The coverage on this is great. Like I said, an underrated foundation. I'm gonna finish blending this all off camera. So before I go in with concealer, I like to set my brows first. I like to use the False Lash Maximizer by MAC because it helps define my brows more and help them stay put. It gives more a dramatic look once I go in with my pencil. See? In place. See? Defined. So as those dry, then I like to go in and conceal my hyperpigmentation. So the product that I love to use that works the best, that lasts all day long without me having to use color corrector, is the NARS Complete Matte Concealer. So I go in with two colors. I go in with caramel and Armane. I think I said that right. I use more caramel than anything because it's more closest to my skin tone. I just need a little more tint from this one. But when I say it completely covers, completely colors. You don't need color corrector. You don't need nothing else. This is a must-have star product for me when it comes to hyperpigmentation. So typically what I like to do, I just take a little small spatch out and I just make a line. It's just going down and how I want to blend it out. The type of brush I like to use is a very flat, dense brush to kind of pack that in, but yet it helps blend it out. So I like to start in a circular motion. I'm gonna blend it off camera and then come back. So I'm gonna show you guys. This is this side that I did already, and my other side that is not done. So now that I have that concealer on, I'm going to go back in and fill my brows in with the Brow Styler by MAC in the color Spike. So when I do my brows, I like to go in the directions of the hair when I fill them in. So just like this, just spike them. So now it's time to line my brows. I like to use a super thin liner, and I use another NARS Complete Matte in the color Ginger right underneath. And I also like to use a fluffy brush to help blend it out when I'm done. And just follow the line. I'm going to cut this one up a little bit. And I'm just going to blend it off camera. So I'll be back. Now it's time for me to clean this one up. So this is just a personal preference for me. I like to kind of make little lines in my eyebrows to give them more of a realistic look. So I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I mix it with a little bit of this Inflammable by L'Oreal just to get my color. So I mix them up on the back of my hand, kind of tap it to where it's kind of sheer, and I just go in between where I want it to make it look more like hairs. And then I just pat it in with my finger. So it kind of gives it this look. I go in with the Radiant Creamy Concealer by NARS in the color Ginger, and I do my contour. So first I always do my chin, forehead, and nose. So I like to lightly pat. I already blend out the chin, but lightly pat until it is seamless. And then I go in and kind of swish up and down and swish that outwards. And then I go in with under the eye. So this is the motion how I like to set for my concealer to blend it out. So what I like to do is pat, sweeping back and forth underneath the eye, blend it out. I'll sweep it down and out and just keep patting as it starts to dry. Sweep the excess onto the cheek. So I'm gonna finish blending this off camera with concealer, without. See the difference? Before I set with a setting powder underneath my eyes, I like to go in with an eyeshadow. I've been using this color out of the Warrior palette just to set underneath my eyes. So I'm gonna go with this first, and then I'm using setting powder. So now I'm gonna go in with the Laurier Mercier setting powder on top of everywhere I highlight. Me having textured skin, I really don't like to bake because it just amplifies it. So I like to just lightly set and dust those highlighted areas. The only area I really do bake, because I said I don't bake, but I do bake my nose just so I can have more definition to it. So as that's baking, I like to contour my face first, starting with a cream. I use the MAC. I like to use the Studio Tech just because I feel like it gives a more natural look when you use a foundation cream base. So what I like to do is I dip it. And when I place my contour, I start from my temples and I go downward, but I blend back and forth, and I kind of like to blend it upward. And I also like to do my forehead. So I'm gonna finish doing this off camera, then I'll come back. What I like to do is also take the contour along my jawline just to give it more definition and make it look more sharp when it comes to photo. I'm gonna finish doing that off camera, then I come back for the brush down on the sides and kind of, little hair, and kind of blend it from there. I also like to take it up to the eyebrows, and I like to go into my crease to create my eye look for like a natural soft eye. So with this flatter end, I like to create the shape for my little button nose. So to set the Studio Tech that I use as a contour on the darker part, I like to go in with the Estee Lauder powder in the color 6C1 Rich Cocoa. Is start from the point and blend it upward. Make sure you get the temple and the jawline as well. With the nose, I just use a smaller brush and go over what I have. So to add a little more definition in my eyes, I like to use another face powder by Morphe. This is in the color Filter 15. I'm gonna go in with this bronzy highlighter. It's by Soda Pop. No, it's called Soda Pop. It's by Dirty Little Secret Cosmetics. I got it at Ipsy one year, and I really like the pigmentation out of it because it's really pretty. So I'm just gonna put that in the corner of my eye, using my finger, and I'm gonna use the brush to blend it out. Same thing for underneath the eye. I'm gonna take that same foundation base and smoke out my under eye with them. I want to add a little more definition to the bottom of my line, so I'm just going to go in with the Pencil Engraved by MAC, which they don't sell this anymore, but I think compared to it, but lasts even better, is the Access Liner in the color Glider Dye. Really, really good. I like to use an angle brush to kind of smoke that out. So my favorite blush to wear is from MAC. It's the Mineralized blush in the color Lovejoy. So for my finishing all over powder, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix powder in the color C7. So what I like to do is just focus on my highlighted areas and just blend it out. So after I put my powder on, I like to set my face using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So I just stand back like this, and this is my face. 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. My favorite brow. So now it's time for lash. Don't come for me, but I got these lashes from the Dollar Tree, and every time I wear them, I get a bunch of compliments on it. I like to double up my glue because I notice it helps it last longer. So I like to press it down first before I flip them up. So I'm gonna flip them. So this is the finishing look. Close the eyes so you can see how high is the man. I'm gonna go finish getting ready, like put a lip on and some clothes and stuff, and then I'm gonna be back. So I'm back. So I end up taking all my photos and stuff, so I've been underneath the light, I want to say, for a good 3 hours now. But this was my finished look. I used chestnut and cork for the liner. I went in with a Patrick Star lip gloss that put a little Urban Decay mascara on. I can't remember which one. And this is how it held up. Natural looking, right? So if you want to see another review or want to see me try a different foundation, like for part 2.